The View from Castle Rock, a collection of short stories penned by Alice Munro in 2006, is a captivating blend of historical accounts drawn from the annals of Munro's own ancestry and contemporary narratives reflecting her personal experiences. Across its 11 tales, readers traverse between past and present, encountering the trials and triumphs of the Laidlaw family who dwell in the rugged landscape of Ettrick Valley, Scotland, during the 1700s. The inaugural story, No Advantages, delves into the lives of the Laidlaw clan, inhabitants of Far Hope in Ettrick Valley, a place dismissed in historical records as possessing no advantages. Here, readers encounter the enigmatic figures of Will Laidlaw, known as Will O'Fop, whose exploits straddle the realms of crime and the supernatural; Thomas Boston, a defiant preacher navigating a life marked by adversity; the poet James Hogg, and his cousin James Laidlaw, who eventually leads his kin to America in their twilight years. In the eponymous tale, the arduous voyage of the Laidlaws to America unfolds. Long before their departure, old James imparts to his son Andrew a vision from atop Edinburgh Castle, declaring the distant horizon as America. Years later, old James, accompanied by his sons Walter and Andrew, along with Andrew's wife Agnes and their son young James, embarks on the transatlantic journey. However, tragedy strikes as young James disappears during the voyage, casting a pall of fear over Agnes, who later faces the heart-wrenching loss of her son shortly after reaching the new land. Meanwhile, Walter's encounter with a wealthy but ailing woman in America leads to a poignant refusal of her father's job offer, while in Illinois, old James' other son, William, seeks a fresh start in Joliet, only to succumb to cholera shortly after his arrival, leaving behind his wife Mary and their children, who are eventually relocated to Canada by William's brother Andrew. William's son Jamie orchestrates a faux kidnapping of their youngest daughter Jane in a desperate bid to halt the impending relocation. Meanwhile, it's revealed to the reader that Thomas, the youngest of William's sons, is the author's great-grandfather. Working for a Living unveils the tale of Alice Munro's father, who harbors disdain for his impoverished upbringing but discovers solace in the wilderness, indulging in hunting and trapping. As he matures, he transforms this passion into a livelihood, establishing a venture breeding fur-bearing animals such as minks and foxes. However, with the outbreak of World War II, the business falters, prompting Munro's mother to devise a plan to sell furs to American tourists. Despite their efforts, the business eventually collapses, leading her father to secure employment at a foundry. In Fathers, the narrative shifts to Alice Munro's own experiences, chronicling her school days and her relationships with two distinct friends, Dahlia Newcomb and Francis Wainwright. While Dahlia's father looms as a menacing figure, resorting to violence as a form of discipline, Francis's father exudes quiet sensitivity, never raising his voice. Alice portrays her own father as a blend of the two extremes, possessing a capacity for temper and occasionally resorting to corporal punishment, albeit as a calculated measure rather than an outburst of rage. Lying Under the Apple Tree recounts a teenage escapade involving the family's neighbor, Miriam McAlpin, who owns a horse farm. Sneaking onto McAlpin's property, Alice seeks refuge under the apple trees, only to face accusations of rendezvousing with a secret beau. Later, she develops a crush on McAlpin's stable boy, Russell, and rendezvous with him in the barn, only to hastily depart when McAlpin appears. Overhearing suggestive conversations that hint at a clandestine romance, ultimately leaving her longing for Russell's elusive presence. In Hired Girl, Munro recounts her stint as a house servant for an affluent family during her 17th summer. Initially captivated by the family's glamour and sophistication, she finds herself inspired by their lifestyle. When her husband suggests she take a dip in the house pool sans bathing suit, she experiences a mixture of revulsion and intrigue. As summer draws to a close, he gifts her a book, igniting within her a newfound passion for literature. In The Ticket, Munro, at the age of 20, prepares for her first marriage, prompting relief among her family that she has found someone willing to endure her. Reflecting on the marriages of her parents, grandparents, and aunt and uncle, Munro observes that her Aunt Charlie appears to be the sole individual who married out of genuine affection. She is taken aback when Aunt Charlie solemnly warns her about the challenges of matrimony. Munro admits to the reader that her first husband deserved better than she could offer. In Home, Munro finds her marriage crumbling as she grapples with feelings for another man, prompting a return to her childhood home. However, the dynamics have shifted. Her mother has passed away, and her father has remarried a woman named Irma, whose spirited demeanor clashes with Munro's perceived sense of superiority. Irma asserts herself as Munro's rightful stepmother, harboring resentment towards Munro's perceived arrogance. By the time What Do You Want to Know For unfolds, Munro has reached 60, remarried, and faces a health scare upon discovering a lump in her breast. Contemplating mortality, she reconciles that she has led a fulfilling life, diminishing the fear of death. This awakening prompts a renewed interest in her familial roots, setting the stage for the stories within the collection. In Messenger, Munro embarks on a journey to Joliet in search of clues about William Laidlaw, only to come up empty-handed. The narrative shifts into reminiscences of her ancestors' earliest recollections, culminating in Munro's own childhood memory of discovering a seashell on the beach, accompanied by the timeless whisper of the ocean. I hope you found this video enjoyable. If so, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Thank you.